Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at the Enya Inspire Guitar. And this one is a smart guitar with a speaker inside. So these are electric guitars that don't need amps. And they have incredible features, and I made a couple videos about the Enya guitars before. So I've been through all the features, but here's a little sample of what this guitar can do. Now, when we take a look at all of the features that are on this guitar, there's incredible things that this guitar can do. But at the end of the day, is it still a good guitar? Meaning, does it sound good when it's plugged in? So when you're using it for a regular gig, or you're not going to use it for the speaker or its features, is it still a good guitar without all of those features? And that's exactly what we're going to take a look at in this video. Now, smart guitars are becoming a lot more popular, and they're adding more and more features on these guitars. But at the end of the day, we need to find out, are these guitars actually worth the money? And are they actually good guitars? Because you can slap a bunch of features on a guitar and it's still not a good guitar. So we really need to talk about this, and we really need to take a look at this. And that's why I brought another guitar over here. This is a fantastic electric guitar, and it has no smart features on it. So this is, the analog version guitar. And we're gonna see how they compare. So does this guitar sound just as good as this one? Does it play just as well? And can it still do gigs? Like, can you still do shows with this guitar and still be in tune and all of those things that guitar players absolutely need in a guitar? All the features and extra bells and whistles, those are great. But at the end of the day, we need to be in tune, we need to sound good, and it has to be playable. It has to have those standard features still that guitarists need at their gigs and at their shows for you to play the full show and still sound good and perform well. I've been playing this guitar for quite a while now, and the smart features have been actually really useful. So a lot of the times I'm actually just using the internal speaker in this guitar. But I have been in a couple situations where I had to use this for a show, and of course I'm not going to use the speaker for a live show because that's just not loud enough. So I did have to plug in, and I did a full show with this guitar, and it actually ended up staying in tune, so that's one thing. And the other thing was that it actually sounded pretty good live as well. Now, when it comes to electric guitars, it all really depends on what you're plugging into. That's really going to affect your tone, and it's going to affect your sound and your playability live as well. So having that setup figured out is actually really important. And if you do have that right setup, this guitar will actually work very well and sound really good through that system, whatever system that you have, if it's dialed in. If it's dialed in, these pickups are going to respond to those pedals and to the amp very well. And that's what I found out at this gig, and here's a few clips of that. At a gig, there's a lot of factors that matter in the sound. So it depends on the mix. So if someone's doing a really good job mixing the show, then you're gonna sound fantastic. And this guitar will also sound fantastic. Now, when it comes to pedals, there's so many to choose from, and everyone has their own opinions on pedals and tastes. So it's a really hard one to pinpoint into which pedals to get. But if I was new to the pedal world and I didn't have a pedal setup, what I would do is I'd get a gain. So that would be like a blues driver or anything that would give you extra gain on a pedal. The one that I have is the Boss Blues Driver, and that one actually gives me quite a bit of gain, and it actually works very well for blues, rock, so it's kind of versatile in that way. You can get a clean sounding gain, you can get a little bit more fuzz out of it as well. So that's an all-around great pedal for electric guitar, and that's an essential sound for electric guitar, because if you're only clean the whole time, maybe that's what you want, but you still want that option of having gain. So that is definitely an important pedal that I would get, is a gain pedal. And then the other pedal that I'd get is a reverb pedal to give you a little bit more ambient sounds, you know, throughout your performance. That also will have a huge impact on your sound. Most players, they use reverb and gain as well. When it comes to rock, blues, you know, it's just an essential lineup of pedals to have. And then the other pedal that a lot of players would get is maybe delay. You can get an EQ pedal as well. You can get some compression. You can get a noise suppressor. There's so many different types of pedals out there that you can get. You can get modular pedals that will alter your sound so that it'll give you some chorus, some 80s sounds. But if we were to really break it down between 3 to 4 pedals, I would get the gain pedal, reverb pedal, delay, and modular. And that would pretty much set you on the right path for getting the right tones. Now, what does that have to do with the smart guitar? Well, if you don't have the right setup when you're playing live and you're plugging this smart guitar in to a regular amp and you think that this guitar will give you all those effects, well, you'd be wrong, because these effects are not designed for being plugged in. Now, there are options of you using the effects when you're plugged in, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because those are designed more for the speaker. And the reason it's designed this way is because really the utility of this guitar with the built-in effects is more for the usage of the speaker and less for being plugged in and having internal effects. And it is possible to use those effects, but there's a little bit too much to do. You don't have enough options on the fly like a pedal would give you. You could just crank the gain or something. You'd have to go on your phone, on your app, adjust that, and you wouldn't want to do that live. But live, at least you can, you know, turn a little knob on a pedal, and then you're ready to go. And then you have the different settings. Now let's really take a look at what's great about this guitar and its standard features. Now this guitar, the neck feels fantastic. It's perfect for a lot of different styles. The action is dialed right in, so it's very easy to play. So that's one thing that I find is very essential with the guitar. Is it easy to play? And I've had guitars that I find are just not easy to play, but this one I could say is probably the easiest guitar that I've played before. And I'm not just saying that to sell the guitar, but I'm actually using this for shows now because of the playability of the guitar. That's one feature that I absolutely love about this guitar, is that it plays so well, it's so easy to play, and it's easy on the fingers. And it feels very comfortable overall. So that is one of the features that is a big selling point for me. And the price point to have a comfortable guitar like this, and this is forgetting about all the other features, just the comfort of the guitar is actually worth it for me. Now, when you look at the different standard features, these tuners are very similar to other tuners that you'd find on electric guitars. They don't go out of tune, they're not cheap, you know, like when you think of a cheap guitar, you think of it going out of tune, but this guitar is definitely not going out of tune. And as you can tell in the live performance clips, I'm not going out of tune in those clips. I am tuning in between songs, but I do that with the highest end guitars as well. But it's actually not going out of tune for the whole song, so that's a really good sign. These tuners are just Enya tuners, but they actually worked very well for the live shows and it did stay in tune. So in terms of the neck side of things, everything is working and functioning as a professional guitar would, and maybe even better at times because it feels so comfortable. Now, when we take a look at the pickups, and the great thing about this guitar is that you do have the humbucker and the 2 single coils, so you do have a variety of tones as well, compared to a guitar that only has single coil, maybe like a Fender or something like that. So all of the standard features that you'd expect on an electric guitar are actually on this guitar. So it's not just about the smart features with this guitar. If you were to ignore the smart features on this guitar, you would forget that it's a smart guitar because it plays like a regular electric guitar. Now, for the rest of the video, we're going to go through some different sound samples. I'm going to go through, I'm going to put some tracks on, and we're going to play this guitar, and then I'm going to play this guitar, and we're going to see how these compare. So I want to go through different tone options, different sounds. I'm going to use the same settings for this guitar as, I'm going to use the same settings for this guitar and this guitar. And we're going to see how the two compare, and if they really hold, if this one can really hold up to this one. This is a professional electric guitar that has no smart features, so the pickups are high end. You know, there's a lot of high end options on this guitar. So let's see if this guitar really holds up to a professional electric guitar.